After being unemployed for almost 8 months, I finally got a job. So if you guys are new to my channel, you wouldn't know that I did get laid off earlier this year, and I did a whole video about it, so definitely go check out in the cards for this video if you want to see it. I feel like you probably maybe should watch it before this video, because then this video would make more sense. But anyway, today I'm going to share a little bit more about, I guess, my job process, the job searching process, how I got here, how I got to where I'm at to right now. Okay, so let's talk about getting the job. I think that's probably the story you want to hear, so I'll quickly talk about how I got the job that I'm at right now. Obviously, I applied to a lot of different places, a lot of different industries and all that stuff, doing similar things, but the job that I ended up with was actually through networking at a conference. Yeah, networking. Y'all probably are upset that I said that, but unfortunately, yes, you gotta network, okay? Honestly, I feel like with this job market, it is vital. It's kind of crucial to network in this job market, because otherwise, a lot of times you're probably sending your resume off to avoid. And I'm really sorry to say that, but yeah, I feel like right now this job market is not the best. This job market is not for job seekers right now. This job market is more for the, I guess, recruiting side, right? I think any chance that you could probably stand out or have a face-to-face interaction with someone is going to be miles ahead of you just sending your resume out to someone and you don't even know who they are, you know, and they don't know who you are, right? So I went to a tech conference near the end of the summer, and I was able to network with a lot of different people, a lot of different companies, and just people also just in the tech industry. It's called BaddieCon. It's through this group I'm part of, Baddies in Tech. So if you're looking into getting into something like that, I would definitely recommend. But yeah, I basically networked with some people there, and then basically after the conference I reached out, connected with them, talked with them over email and everything, and I ended up sending my resume over with that. Didn't hear back for a little bit, but then after I got an email and they basically wanted to pre-screen me, and like they were excited about this role. After that, I went through an interview process, so it kind of went pretty fast after that, and then I was offered the job, and yeah, I ended up taking it. But if it weren't that for that conference, I don't know where I would be right now, honestly. I did network with a lot of people before that conference, but yeah, that definitely jump started something. Maybe even because it was like an in-person well, it wasn't in-person event. It was because it was an in-person event, I was able to talk to people like face-to-face too, but definitely wouldn't be where I'm at right now without having attended that conference. The reason I even attended the conference in the first place was because I wanted to network and meet more people in the industry, but also I wanted to learn about stuff that's happening like right now, right? I wanted to be more on the pulse of like trending stuff, kind of like learn about what people are becoming more interested in. So yeah, that was kind of the reason I did it, but I think a valid reason is to, you know, if you're trying to get a job or something like that, it's good to network in those type of locations and like spaces. So let's talk about the job process, this job search process actually. More importantly, this was interesting. It was a long process. Like I said, I was unemployed for almost 8 months, so this process was definitely a little long. I mean, I took breaks, let me be real. I definitely wasn't applying every single day. I wasn't stressed about it in certain months, because I feel like there was months that were definitely more slow with job applications, especially the summer. I feel like July was the month I really took a break, because I feel like there wasn't much happening in the job atmosphere. I was like, I'll take advantage of this and just enjoy my July, enjoy my summer. But first off, I was using Notion heavily to track this. If you guys saw any of my Funemployed vlogs, you did see glimpses into my Notion with my job hunting board and basically tracking the progress of each application that I had submitted. Let's just say this process was draining, very frustrating at times as well, because you would feel like you did a good application, especially the ones that you really had to like put your work into. It wasn't something that just you had to submit a resume and keep it pushing. It was stuff that you had to answer questions, maybe you had to like, you know, give like a little, I don't want to say an essay, but like you had to kind of explain yourself why you wanted to do this particular position, or there was something that I literally had to do like questions about the position, or question they gave you like something to read and you had to answer that. For stuff like that, we had to really put in time. It was very frustrating then to never even hear like anything back. Some of them, yes, I did like receive rejection, but it was very few. Honestly, there was a lot of them that were just like, you'd never hear anything back. So it was kind of like, why did I put in the work if I wasn't gonna even hear any type of progress or anything like that, which was kind of annoying. I feel like you're wasting your time a lot of the time. I try to stay positive though. So yeah, let's just go ahead and go into how I started it in general. So first off, I sat down and I thought of a few questions to ask myself before I really started looking for jobs, okay? So first off, it was, what role was I looking for at this point? Did I want to do something similar? Did I want to do something different? You know, what was that role, right? What was the ideal role for myself right now? So for me, I was kind of like going towards something that was a PM role because that was like my most recent experience in my technical background, technical experience, my working experience, let me say that, not necessarily technical, but yeah, that was personally my thought process and like my natural projection. So yeah, I was looking at those types of roles. Then the next question I kind of wanted to talk about to myself was, what companies, what industries was I interested in? Did those places mean that I would have to relocate? Did those places mean they were remote? Like, what was my ideal work environment? What companies did I want to work for, right? For me, I want to stay not that far from New York. I did not want to stay too far. I didn't want to have to relocate. Ideally, I wanted to be hybrid, if not remote, right? So those were the things I was looking for. Those were ways I can narrow down my search, right? Like, those were, I don't want to say non-negotiables because I feel like, well, I didn't really want to relocate, so that was definitely probably non-negotiable. But it's like I would write all those ideas, or, you know, ideals down. The last thing was, what are these particular job titles that I was looking for? What experience did I have that went towards this, right? So like, what was I qualifying for, right? I think there's definitely roles that I feel like, even if it doesn't necessarily show the qualifications, I feel like you can usually apply to them and see what happens. I don't like to cheat myself out of an opportunity if it looks like it might be something that would align with me. So I definitely say the same for you if you're watching this. Like, don't think like you're not qualified for something. You probably are. So like, I think those were the questions beforehand, but then like when I started actually looking at jobs, I started like seeing, okay, what tools did I need, or what were some things that maybe I could tweak on my resume or like highlight more on my resume, tailor my resume to the job description. So there's a lot of different things I started doing to help myself in this job process, the job searching process, because it's hard out here. Okay, it's very hard out here. This job market is definitely basura. Trash. So yeah, like, it was definitely very frustrating at times. Another thing I started doing that I think was helpful was reaching out to recruiters on LinkedIn, like following recruiters on LinkedIn. So there's a few recruiters that actually post a lot of opportunities. If they see something that comes across, like, they will post it. So I started following people like that. I'd also would try to connect with the recruiter from the company that I was applying to and kind of, I don't say pitch myself, but, you know, mention that I had applied for a role and that, you know, I would love to like talk about it or something like that. Like, I had some type of thing that I would write to, and I would tailor it. Like, I would change it up for sure based on what role it was, based on my experience, based on the company. I would find something that was a little different, so it didn't look like I was just pitching the exact same message to every single person, because like, no, you need to make it personal to that person, right, for them to answer. So yeah, I started doing that, and that was good. It kind of helped me network with more people, but my name to like the face of the resume, you know, I think that was really good. I feel like networking is always gonna help. So even if you have like opportunities to go to like an event or something, I would definitely take it, especially in this time. I know some of them definitely require you to invest money to go, try to find some sponsorship or something, because I feel like in-person events that I attended definitely were probably the most impactful. I think those helped me much more than just applying or trying to connect with people on LinkedIn. Like, the face-to-face interaction, I feel like always wins. So if you can, I mean, you definitely look at free stuff in your area if there's anything possible, or like maybe virtual things where you could get on a camera and talk with people. Definitely look at those types of events. I think those would really help you. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but it worked for me. I feel like it worked because of that face-to-face interactions, someone seeing my personality. Because I feel like a lot of times companies also want to see if you're a fit with the culture, right? Like when you're interviewing with someone, it's not only if you fit the role, it's not only if you fit the experience. So I think it's also really if you fit the culture, the personality that the team has. So if you're gonna fit in, and I think a lot of times that missing piece can be expedited, or I guess you could honestly be put in quicker if people already know what type of personality you have or how you are with other people. So I think that is really valuable. Definitely try to do it. Even I know networking can be sometimes scary, but I feel like it's very impactful, very monumental for my job searching experience. So one thing I was doing when I was, continuing this job search process, right, and I was answering all these questions that I mentioned, I was like listing everything. So I would go on to each of these companies that I want to work for. I'll go on their site, go on the career site, see what was available, filter it based on location, filter it based on title, all of that. Like I would just do that for hours, some days, hours. I would list, and sometimes I wouldn't apply obviously right away. I would just literally list certain roles in my Notion board, and I would link to that page so I could come back to it and apply to the next day. So like there would be days that I would just literally search for jobs, and then there would be days that I was actually applying. Like there was some that I was applying for like just one application for that day, especially the ones that I had to write a lot more. That's the other thing, because I did apply to a lot of like programs or things that were they were targeting certain groups. I would definitely look into that. Like if you're able to see, because there was one that I was going for someone like people who are new to the product management space, because I definitely did look into product management as well. There was a program for that, like basically a rotational type of program with another company, and I saw that and I was like, ooh, that sounds really cool. And based on the qualifications, I matched, right? So I was eligible for it, and I did a whole application for that. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but that's something that I was excited to apply for. So like even if maybe it's a program, or maybe it's like something that's a little bit less conventional than what you probably are going into like looking for, I would definitely be open to those type of things, because you never know. But yeah, I was definitely having days where I was just sitting there at my computer, or laying in the bed with my computer and going on each of these career sites and looking. Definitely also use like career boards and stuff, but a lot of times I was just going directly to places. So that was crazy. It was a lot. All right, y'all. So that is the whole job search process and how I got my job that I have now. Let me know down below if you are still job searching. What is your industry? What are you looking to do in that industry? Let's talk down in the comments, network in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this whole Funemployed series. It's really sad to say that I had to end it, but this was a great series that I did on this YouTube this year, and I really enjoyed myself this past year, even amidst the layoff. Like I really did enjoy my time being in Funemployed. So yeah, we're gonna do another series soon that I can still like vlog and stuff with for y'all. But yeah, just stay tuned, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.